Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back to the second candle review of the day. I hope you are having a fantastic Sunday. If you missed it a little bit earlier, I did upload my thoughts on the, to me, much disappointing Candleberry waffle cone fragrance. If you want to watch that one, I will go ahead and link it in the description box down below. If you are thinking at all about picking up that waffle cone, maybe watch my review first. And if we tend to have the same experiences or the same preferences or nose when it comes to fragrances, definitely watch that review first before you place an order for the waffle cone, because it was not at all what I was expecting it to be. But in this video, we are going to tackle what I think is actually the last country candle review that I need to put up for spring summer 2024. I do want to be upfront with you guys and let you know that this particular one was sent in PR, so I did not pay for this candle, and this is not one that I would have ever purchased myself to begin with just reading the fragrance notes. It's just not in my wheelhouse. I'm still going to try to review it from a very objective standpoint, if you will. So, but anyway, I'll link where you can find Kringle candle in the description box. You can use my discount code Melanie15 to save 15% off of most purchases at Kringle candle. It works with a lot of their sales, but there are some sales that are just, you know, decent enough on their own to where you can't, you know, add that additional discount. But it's always worth popping in there. My code is Melanie15, just to see if you can save an extra 15% off your purchase. But anyway, you guys, let's get into Country Candle Cotton Flowers. So this one has one of the fragrance notes that it's just, I don't know. I would love to know what you're like, absolutely not. I will never get a candle with this particular fragrance note because I just don't like it. I think a lot of people are going to say something like patchouli, but for me, one of the, I would say, actually I have a few. I have quite a few fragrance notes that I'm just not personally a fan of, but mint, anything mint. I do not like peppermint. I do not like spearmint. I don't like sweet mint. I just do not like mint. I don't know what it is because I love a mojito. Mojitos have mint in them. I will eat mint all day long, but the smell of it just does not appeal to me for some reason. It's not like I had a bad experience with mint at one point in my life. I just don't like it. And this is very, very mint forward. So if you, like me, are not a fan of the mint, I would just say skip it altogether. This is actually currently sold out in the large jar format, which is what Kringle sent to me. It is available in the medium. I'm not quite sure if there's definitely daylights or wax melts still available. So if you are at all unsure of this fragrance, do not even buy like the medium jar first. Get the wax melts or get the daylight and experience the scent first, because there's nothing worse than spending money on a rather large jar of wax that soy is a slow burning wax, so you're gonna have this candle for a little while. Make sure that you like the fragrance first. So yeah, anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. I burned it to the halfway point. I wanted to give it the old college try and just really put some effort and thought into this one, especially since it's not in my wheelhouse. But I will tell you this, after this video, I don't think I'm gonna light this one up again. In fact, I'm going to gift it to one of my neighbors that really does enjoy mint fragrances, and I think he's actually going to absolutely adore this one. I should probably actually buy him a full-size jar as well, so I'm gonna put that on my to-do list as well. But let's read through the scent description of Cotton Flowers. We'll talk strength and throw. We'll talk overall burn quality, which in this case, definitely stay tuned for that, because I do still think that Country Candle is still a little hit and miss with the wicks that they're using. Oh my God, Alpha's about to have a meltdown. Hopefully you guys can't hear it. I don't know what he's angry about right now. All right, Cotton Flowers. Embrace of the delicate charm of Cotton Flowers with the invigorating notes of mint, the bright allure of lemon, and the tender beauty of freesia, where subtle hints of rose and wood create a soothing, timeless atmosphere in your space. All right, top notes. Just mint. mint. The mid notes are freesia and lemon. The base is rose and wood. So this is, I would consider this kind of a pretty straightforward concoction for Kringle. A lot of times they have a lot of fragrance notes, and I don't know, maybe because I'm not super fancy when it comes to my sniffer, I just kind of, like, I tend to only smell a few of the fragrance notes a lot of times. Keep in mind, everybody's nose is different. If you are not aware of this fact, everybody experiences fragrance slightly different. So even though I get a boatload of mint, you might actually pick up some of these other notes a little bit more so than the mint. But I don't know. I consider this pretty I would say pretty straightforward in terms of mint, or mint forward, if you will. The type of mint that I'm smelling here is definitely a spearmint. It's not a peppermint. I smell spearmint. In fact, it kind of reminds me of the double mint gum. I'm sure that's still sold, right? Man, I love that gum in the 80s. That was my favorite flavor. I'm telling you, like, I will eat mint and I will drink minty cocktails. It's something about the smell of it though, especially in terms of home fragrance, that just does not appeal to me. And I could not tell you why. I just don't like it. But this is very spearmint forward to my nose. Freesia and lemon. I do definitely get a hit of citrus in here, and it is a lemony citrus, so the lemon is very accurate. The freesia, I do actually smell some freesia in here. Freesia is a very fragrant, very distinct floral note. As a wedding florist, I was quite frequently asked to incorporate freesia into bridal bouquets because it is so fragrant and beautiful. And I do think the floral note that I'm smelling here, surprisingly, is the freesia, but I'm not getting any rose. And I feel like most of the time the rose tends to be the most prominent fragrance note. It's really not here. In fact, I don't pick up any rose. I would love to know if you do, if you have this one. And in terms of the woodiness, I'm not sure that I would necessarily call this fragrance woody in any regard. I don't get a driftwood, I don't get a sandalwood, I don't get an oaky smell. I'm just not sure that I would say wood is something that I would apply to this particular fragrance at all. So for me, I'm getting mostly that spearmint, that lemon, and then that freesia. And oddly enough, and I don't know if it's just because it's on the label, but there is some eucalyptus in that picture. And I have the lid here behind the camera. And when I stick my nose in the lid, I actually get a touch of like the baby eucalyptus. Not that typical eucalyptus that most people think of, where it's like the one that stands up. It's just the traditional eucalyptus. I don't remember like the formal name for it. But yeah, you know, the eucalyptus that most people tend to hang in their showers, the eucalyptus that is most readily available, you know, in the grocery store flower section, that eucalyptus. But baby eucalyptus is much smaller, and it's a much softer type of euc fragrance. I actually much prefer that to the more traditional eucalyptus because that is a lot more fragrant. This is a very, very slight, very faint baby eucalyptus that I'm smelling here. And yeah, also eucalyptus is another one of those fragrance notes that it just reminds me of work. So I don't love eucalyptus. I can tolerate it a lot more now that it's been a few years since I've been in the industry. I just smelled it for so many years, like nonstop, that my nose just grew very, very tired of it. But I think there is a hint of that baby euc in here, and I'd be curious to see if anybody else detects that. But overall, this is not the scent profile for me at all. I am not the one they had in mind for this fragrance, let me tell you. That being said, I do think there is a market for this. If you're looking for something that is coming across as a little bit more maybe invigorating, a very kind of lively mint type of fragrance with a subtle floral note, I think you're really going to actually enjoy this one. I have found the Strength and Throw to be quite consistent and decent on this particular country candle. I'm gonna put it at a solid, I would say 7 in terms of strength. I would put it more between a 6 and a 7 in terms of throw, but it's still decent. It fills the area where I have it. It travels outside the room just a little bit, but it's not a house filler. My home, by the way, is much more open concept style. It was a house that was built in the early 2000s, and that was really when I feel like that open concept styling really came into fashion. And the rooms kind of all flow into each other. There's wide openings between the different spaces. And so I think I get a decent, you know, throw from this one. It really does want to travel, but I do have high ceilings. So sometimes that can limit the fragrance a little bit too. But yeah, it's a decent strength and throw. I think most people would be pleased with it. Now, let's talk about the overall burn quality. There are still some people that are seeing issues with the country candles. Personally, I have found the wicks on most of them to be decent and a nice changeover from what they had from previous seasons. If you're not familiar, the country candles used to actually come in paraffin. And then I think a year, or has it been a year and a half? I don't think it's been 2 years yet. Kringle decided to do away with paraffin overall, and they changed everything to their soy formulation. They use 100% soy. It's the same soy that they use in the 2-wick tumblers that are the cream colored wax. But with the country candle, they add the, well, they dye the wax. And that does affect then how the wax interacts with the wicks. And so some people have experienced the wicks studding out. You can see on this one here that the wicks are nice and tall. Still, I trim them ever so slightly with essentially just my cuticle scissors, just a little bit, and my wicks have held up. That being said, if you are someone who is only wanting to purchase from Country Candle once they have everything figured out with this changeover, you might not want to start with this season. I'm hoping that they can get it completely figured out by the time that the fall and winter candles are released, but we'll see. One thing that I do appreciate about Kringle is they're open to feedback about their product, and when something isn't working, they're willing to go back to the drawing board and try out new things. So if you have had issues with your country candle wicks from spring summer 2024, please just let them know either via review or send an email to the company. I think it's just helpful for them to be able to collect that information and then, you know, start the process of trying to figure out what's going on here and then fix it. So give them your feedback. Obviously be, you know, constructive. I don't think you need to be rude. So their customer service is pretty darn good. I've had great experiences with them. While I do get a fair amount of candles sent my way throughout the year, I also purchase a lot from Kringle, and I've always had a wonderful customer service experience with them whenever things have gone wrong with my order, which has been very, very occasionally. They have always made it right and quite quickly. So anyway, you guys, I just wanted to give you my thoughts on this very minty candle here. And I am very excited to see what you guys have to say about it. Please share your thoughts on cotton flowers in the comments down below if you have any experience with it, so that people can make an informed decision with this one. And let me know how you feel about mint. Let me know if there is anything that you're just like, absolutely not. Like if you see a fragrance note in the description, what is the fragrance note that just makes you go, oh, pork? Absolutely not. I'm passing on this one. So let me know that down in the comments as well. I appreciate you guys being here. Remember to subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.